I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. You do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words. Oh, wow. Wow.
The moment itself only lasted a few seconds, but what happened after showed something much bigger than just one bad decision. When Will Smith walked back to his seat after hitting Chris Rock on live TV, the room didn't freeze, the show didn't stop, the music played, people laughed again, and before the night was over, that same man walked back onto the stage and received a loud, long standing ovation. That wasn't confusion, that was training. Inside that room were the most powerful people in Hollywood, studio bosses, producers, agents, investors, people whose money depends on things staying calm, familiar, and profitable. In that moment, the real question wasn't, did he cross a line? It was, what happens if we admit he did? For almost 30 years, Will Smith had been the safest kind of star Hollywood could have. Clean image, huge box office numbers, family-friendly, carefully controlled. His movies made billions. His reputation was built piece by piece to be smooth, positive, and reliable. But when that slap happened, the image broke in front of millions of people watching live, and the applause that followed showed Hollywood's first instinct: protect the brand, control the damage, keep the show moving. Live TV doesn't allow edits, no do-overs, no publicist stepping in to rewrite the story. What people saw that night wasn't just one shocking act. It was an entire industry showing how it reacts when money and image crash into right and wrong. That moment became more than a scandal. It forced people to see the quiet rules Hollywood has followed for decades. Suddenly, accountability looked optional, and power looked untouchable. Once that imbalance was exposed, it opened a door that had been locked for years. A door that finally let people speak up after being ignored for far too long. The first real crack in Hollywood's silence came from someone who had nothing to gain by speaking out: Jim Carrey. He said he was sickened, not just by the slap, but by the standing ovation that followed. He said it made Hollywood look weak, spineless, like a group that cared more about looking calm than doing what was right. Jim Carrey wasn't promoting a movie, he wasn't chasing attention, he wasn't trying to come back. He spoke as someone who had spent decades inside the system and no longer felt the need to protect it. When he talked about being sickened, he wasn't really talking about Will Smith. He was talking about the room, the smiles, the applause, the way everyone acted like nothing serious had happened. To him, that applause wasn't forgiveness, it was armor, a shield protecting an image, not integrity. And his words mattered because of who he was. In the 1990s, Jim Carrey changed what a movie star could be. He didn't act polished, he didn't play it safe, he leaned into weirdness and chaos. Over time, that rebellion turned into something deeper. He began questioning fame itself. He said celebrity images were like masks people wear too long, until they forget who they really are. That idea shaped how he saw the Oscars moment. To him, the slap wasn't about love or defending honor. It was about an identity falling apart, a public image that had been built, sold, and protected for decades, suddenly cracked in front of the world. And when that illusion was threatened, the reaction was explosive. Carrey called it an avatar, a fake self that depends on praise to survive. When that fake self feels attacked, it reacts like it's fighting for its life. From that view, the outburst wasn't planned. It was pressure that had been building for years, finally bursting in public. What disturbed Carrey most wasn't the slap. It was how easily Hollywood absorbed it. No pause, no real discomfort, no immediate consequences. Just applause and business as usual. To him, that wasn't strength. It was proof that Hollywood had lost its moral compass. While Jim Carrey spoke like a philosopher pulling apart a broken system, Eddie Murphy chose a different path: silence. For years, Eddie Murphy stayed away from Hollywood's spotlight. No award chasing, no constant appearances, no playing the fame game. So when he finally returned to the stage to accept the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes, the energy shifted the moment he walked on stage. Everyone felt it. Then he said it. Pay your taxes, mind your business, and keep Will Smith's wife's name out of your mouth. People laughed, but underneath that laughter was tension. Everyone knew what he meant. That wasn't just a joke, it was a boundary. Murphy later explained it wasn't meant to shock anyone. It was a reminder. Comedians challenge people, but there's a line, and when that line is crossed, everything changes. Coming from Eddie Murphy, one of the most influential comedians ever, the message hit hard. What made it powerful wasn't the joke itself, it was who said it. Murphy didn't need approval, he didn't need protection, his legacy was already secure, and that freedom made his words heavy. In one sentence, he did what almost no one else in Hollywood had done since the Oscars. He acknowledged the moment, without excuses, without drama, and moved on without drama. And in doing that, he exposed how rare honesty had become when money and reputation were at stake. To understand why this mattered so much, you have to understand what award shows really are now. They aren't just celebrations, they're carefully planned performances. Every laugh, every clap, every camera angle, it's all designed to protect stability. Truth isn't the goal, smoothness is. The Oscars moment shattered that illusion because it happened live, unscripted, and out of control. The applause wasn't compassion, it was real-time damage control. By clapping, the room changed the story. It shifted the moment from misconduct to redemption. It reassured studios, investors, and advertisers that nothing had truly fallen apart. That's why Murphy's quiet line at the Golden Globes mattered more than any official statement or apology. He didn't moralize, he didn't demand punishment. He simply reminded everyone that boundaries existed. And that reminder exposed how unnatural the silence around the incident had become. Award shows love to present themselves as moral leaders, as guardians of culture and excellence. But moments like this reveal the truth. They aren't temples of art, they're marketplaces of influence. Behavior isn't judged by ethics, it's judged by risk. What's profitable to punish, what's safer to ignore. And once audiences start seeing that clearly, the applause sounds different, speeches feel rehearsed, and the illusion begins to crack. Because when people stop believing the performance, the power of the stage fades, and that slow loss of trust, more than any single slap or joke, is what Hollywood fears most. When the noise finally faded and the cameras stopped rolling, what remained wasn't just a viral moment or a headline. What remained was a question Hollywood has been avoiding for a long time. Not what happened, but why did everyone react the way they did? The slap didn't break Hollywood, it exposed it. For decades, the industry built itself on a promise that talent would be rewarded, that bad behavior would have limits, that success came with responsibility. But the reaction that night showed how fragile those promises really were when money, image, and power are at stake. Because the truth is simple. If that moment had involved someone without decades of box office power, the response would have been very different. There would have been no standing ovation, no immediate redemption, no quiet forgiveness wrapped in applause. Hollywood responded based on risk, not values. That's the part that unsettled people, not just what happened on stage, but how fast the system moved to protect itself. The industry didn't stop to ask whether the behavior was right or wrong. It asked whether admitting it would cost too much. And for a long time, that calculation worked. But something changed after that night. Not because Hollywood suddenly grew a conscience, but because the audience did.
Viewers started looking closer, listening differently, questioning stories they once accepted without hesitation. The polished speeches, the emotional apologies, the carefully worded interviews, all of it began to feel less sincere and more strategic. When trust starts to slip slightly, everything changes. Movies don't hit the same, smiles feel rehearsed, statements sound like scripts. And once people notice the performance behind the performance, it becomes impossible to unsee it. This wasn't about canceling anyone, it wasn't about punishment, it was about exposure. For the first time in decades, the system that once guaranteed protection hesitated, not out of morality, but out of uncertainty. Studios slowed down, projects paused, enthusiasm cooled, not because Hollywood suddenly discovered right and wrong, but because controversy complicates marketing. Silence became the safest move. And that silence said more than any speech ever could. The irony is impossible to miss. The same industry that applauded hours after the incident quietly stepped back when the spotlight dimmed. The protection didn't disappear, it just became quieter. That's how Hollywood works. It rarely confronts power head-on. It waits, it watches.